Have you ever caught yourself overthinking, worrying, imagining endless worst-case scenarios and then suddenly realizing that none of it was actually real? Have you ever been stuck in jealousy, anger, or fear and felt as though these emotions were monsters you had to fight? Yet, the more you resisted them, the stronger they became. If you've ever experienced this, then you've touched one of the deepest truths the Buddha revealed. Your delusions are not your enemies. As you heard that right, the very thoughts, feelings, and illusions you try so hard to suppress are not here to destroy you. They are here to teach you. The Buddha didn't ask us to kill our illusions. He asked us to see them clearly, because when you see through an illusion, it loses its power, but when you fight it, you feed it. So today, let's explore the astonishing truth behind this idea that delusions or wrong imagination is not something to be feared, but understood. This is one of the most radical and liberating teachings in Buddhism because it completely reverses the way most people approach spiritual life. 1. The nature of delusion, a mirage that feeds on attention. Imagine you're walking through a desert. You see water in the distance. You start running toward it. But when you arrive, it's gone. It was only a mirage. The mirage itself was not dangerous. The danger was your belief in it. This is how delusion works. It appears real because you give it your belief, your attention, your energy. The moment you see it for what it is, a projection, it dissolves. Delusion thrives on resistance. It survives on identification. If you push it away, it fights back. If you cling to it, it suffocates you. But if you simply observe it without feeding it, it disappears on its own. The Buddha compared thoughts to bubbles on the surface of a stream. They appear, each immer, a vanish. Oh, bubble lasts long. It's only when you try to grab one that you create turbulence. So the question is not how do I destroy delusion, but can I stop feeding it? Why we empower our delusion is we live in a culture that rewards reaction. The faster you react, the louder you speak, the more validated you feel. But the mind that constantly reacts never truly sees. When someone criticizes you, what happens? The story arises, they're wrong. I must defend myself. I'm hurt. I am unworthy. That story isn't reality, it's delusion. But when you identify with that story, when you call it kmis, you breathe life into it. You build a temple for it. You worship it every time you replay the scene in your head. The same is true for all emotional pain, anger, jealousy, anxiety. They all begin as passing clouds, but we turn them into storms by calling them mine. We don't suffer because we have delusions. We suffer because we believe them. 3. The Buddhist view delusion as teacher. In the Mahayana tradition, there's a beautiful saying, defilements are not separate from enlightenment. This means the very energy of delusion, when seen clearly, becomes wisdom. Anger, when understood, becomes clarity, the wisdom of mirror-like awareness. Desire, when purified, becomes discriminating wisdom, the ability to see beauty without grasping. Ignorance, when seen through, becomes the wisdom of openness, the recognition that all things are interdependent. So your emotions are not flaws, they are fuel. They are raw energy waiting to be transformed through awareness. Ink of a lotus grows in the mud, but it is not stained by it. The mud nourishes it. Likewise, your delusions perish your awakening when you stop fighting them and start understanding them. 4. The practice from reaction to observation. The first step is to pause. When a strong thought or emotion arises, don't rush to change it or judge it. Just notice it. Say to yourself, this is anger. This is fear. This is craving. Labeling gently creates space between awareness and the emotion. Suddenly, you are not inside it, you are watching it. And that's the beginning of freedom. In that space, you begin to see the mechanics of delusion. You see how a single thought can trigger a chain of sensations, the tightening in the chest, a flush of heat, a flood of memory. You realize you don't have to follow it. You can breathe, you can stay. As the Zen masters say, when thoughts rise, see their source. When they fade, rest in their absence. This is not suppression, it's illumination. 5. The paradox of awareness. Here's the most astonishing part. The more you try to get rid of delusion, the more deluded you become. Why? Because even that effort is rooted in the illusion of someone's trying to control the mind. But awareness doesn't need to control. Awareness simply sees. The moment you turn awareness upon delusion, it begins to lose coherence. Just like darkness fades when light enters. In this sense, delusion is the invitation for awareness to wake up. Without delusion, there would be no path, no growth, no awakening. The Buddha himself didn't eliminate delusion by force. He sat beneath the Bodhi tree and faced it. When Mara, the tempter, sent fear, desire, and doubt, the Buddha didn't resist. He simply said, "I see you, Mara." That simple seeing disarmed Mara. The illusions lost their grip. This is the power of awareness. 6. Modern application, turning awareness into practice. How can we live this truth today in a world that constantly feeds illusion? Here's a simple daily method. Each time you catch yourself lost in a story or worrying about the future, regretting the past, pause and ask, is this true or just a thought? Who is the one thinking it? What happens if I stop believing this story? You'll notice something profound. The thought might still be there, but its emotional charge weakens. The more you practice, the faster this happens. Over time, delusions appear like shadows, visible but powerless. This doesn't mean you become detached or numb. In fact, you become more alive, more present, because now you're responding from clarity, not compulsion. 7. The gift of delusion, the gateway to compassion. Once you see how delusion works in you, you stop judging it in others. You realize everyone is fighting invisible battles, believing stories, projecting fears, clinging to illusions. Instead of anger, you feel compassion. You see someone's arrogance, and instead of resentment, you see their pain. You see someone's greed, and you recognize their fear of lack. You see someone's cruelty, and you feel sorrow for their blindness. This doesn't mean condoning harm, it means understanding its roots. And that understanding is the beginning of wisdom. Beyond delusion, the still point. Some stage in practice, even the observer dissolves. You realize awareness itself was never affected by delusion, was never clouded, was simply watching patiently, like the sky watching clouds. This realization is the essence of enlightenment. You were never truly bound. You only thought you were. Illusionists don't disappear because you fought them. They dissolve because you woke up. You laugh, not mockingly, but with tenderness at how seriously you once took your thoughts. That laughter is liberation. The invitation. So next time your mind floods with worry, anger, or craving, don't panic. Don't attack it. Smile gently. Say, an illusion is visiting. Watch it, let it dance, let it fade. Because every delusion that rises is the Buddha knocking at your door, saying, wake up. And closing reflection. The greatest misunderstanding in spiritual life is believing that enlightenment means the end of thought or emotion. Doesn't. Means the end of confusion about who you are. When you know yourself as awareness, identity, thoughts and emotions are like guests. You host them with grace and let them go when it's time. That is the miracle of the path. You stop fearing the storm because you realize you are the sky. So, don't fight your delusions. See them, learn from them, talk to them as teachers. Because, as the Buddha said, within the burning house of the world, the flame itself can light the way to liberation. If this message resonated with you, share your reflections below. Have you noticed moments when simply seeing your thoughts made them dissolve? Have you ever experienced peace in the middle of mental chaos? Leave a comment. Your insight might awaken someone else's understanding. And as always, subscribe, like, and join our community to explore more teachings that help you turn confusion into clarity, pain into peace, and delusion into awakening.